into easy pose, softening or closing your eyes and letting your shoulders relax. And taking a moment to notice how your body and your mind are feeling in this moment. So feeling the sit bones evenly on the floor and lengthening your spine right from the sit bones all the way to the crown of the head. Bringing your attention to your breath, letting it flow in and out smoothly through your nose at your own pace. And as you're doing that, noticing the air first of all coming in through your nostrils, feeling that. And feeling the warmed up, moist air leaving through the nostrils each time you exhale. And then feeling that air going down through your throat. And again, leaving via the throat. Now taking your awareness to the area just under your armpits, at the side of the ribs. And noticing that as you inhale, that pushes out just a little bit, and as you exhale, it comes back in towards your spine. It may be really, really subtle, but it's a great way of tuning into the breath and noticing what's going on for you. And bringing your attention to your belly, your navel, or that area. Noticing that as you inhale, the belly is able to relax, soften. And as you exhale, you can gently pull the navel back towards the spine, very gently squeezing through the abdominal muscles and the pelvic floor. And the next time you inhale, bringing the palms together at the centre of your chest. You can rub your hands together a little if you would like to. And then bring the thumbs to rest against the sternum. Palms flat together in prayer mudra. And let's chant 3 Oms on the out breath. So let's inhale to begin. Om. Taking a breath in, gently suspending your breath and pulling root and chin lock. And when you're ready, letting go of that breath. And we'll chant the heart protection mantra, focusing on each side of the body as you go around, starting on the left, then going to the back, the right side, and finally the front. Let's inhale to begin. Adhikarename, Tugadikarename, Satkarename, Siddhikarename, Adhikarename, Tugadikarename, Satkarename, Siddhikarename, Adhikarename, Tugadikarename, Satkarename, Siddhikarename, And when you need to, letting go of that breath, bringing your hands down into your lap and taking a moment to stay within and notice how your body and your mind are feeling in the moment. Alright, so let's take the legs out in front and give them a shake out. And we'll come up to standing for a warm up. I realised I didn't have my little mic since, so the first bit will be pretty quiet. I apologise for that. And yeah, it might feel a bit odd, but see how you go. Alright, so feet side by side, and we'll start off with our moving mountains. So as you inhale, letting the arms float up to whatever level feels comfortable for you, and then as you exhale, letting the arms float down again. So finding a way of taking the arms up that feels like you're warming up the shoulders, that you're not putting too much pressure on them. So consider which direction your palms are facing and what feels best for your shoulders. And try to synchronise the movement with the breath. So finishing your inhale with the arms up to the highest point and finishing the exhale with your arms all the way down. And if you like, you can slightly open your eyes and begin to rise up on your toes as you take your arms up. Being mindful of not pushing too far into the arch of your foot, because that will make your ankles really wobbly. So it's taking the heels off maybe an inch or two to begin with until you find your balance. And the next time you take your arms up, let's stay up there on your toes as well. And as you inhale, lengthening through your whole body, from the balls of the feet right up to the fingertips. And as you exhale, softening the elbows just a little bit, but trying to keep the heels off the floor if you can. So a few breaths here, inhaling up, exhaling, softening a little. And then the next time you exhale, bringing the heels down and floating the arms all the way down. Taking a moment to stand and notice how your body and your mind are feeling. And then giving your arms and your legs a little bit of a shake out. Alright, I think we need to energise ourselves a little bit. So let's do breath of joy. So it's a 3-part inhale. Inhaling the arms up in front of you, out to the side and then up over your head, and then a strong exhale through your mouth, dropping the knees. So inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. Inhale, 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 exhale. Keep going at your own pace. Make this your last one coming up. And taking your arms up overhead, lengthening through your whole body, checking that your shoulders are dropped down low, nice and soft. And let's do some skiing. So we're going to bend your knees and swing your arms down as you exhale. As you inhale, lifting yourself back up again. Exhale down, inhale up. Keeping the knees over the toes. Feeling the out breath drop you down, and the inhale, pressing your feet into the floor and using your belly to pull you back up again. Couple more there. And the next time you inhale, lengthening through the whole spine. And exhaling your arms all the way down. You start to shake out, wiggle and jiggle. And standing in mountain pose. Now I was reminded this week, I was doing this reading, that mountain pose is called mountain pose because our bodies are like the connection between the earth and the heavens. So we're connected through the whole of our body, from the feet on the floor, like the mountain is connected to the earth, but the peak of the mountain is connecting with the ether and with the universe up there. So this is what we're feeling when we're in mountain pose, the connection with the earth through our feet, finding as much length as possible through the whole body, all the way up to the crown of the head, feeling it extending away, but not in a hard or tense way. It's a very soft way, feeling that you have a lot of space in your spine. Alright, let's separate our feet a little bit. We'll do warrior two and then into a triangle pose, which will be a lateral stretch. So we're separating the feet, taking the right foot forwards along your mat, if you're on your mat or not, and then take the left one in a little bit. And your shoulders are facing the side, that's it. Okay, so as you inhale, we're going to bend that right knee over the centre of the foot and let the arms float up to shoulder level or slightly below is fine. And then as you exhale, floating down. So we inhale, lengthening up, exhale, coming down. And this feels like mountain pose. So as you inhale, feeling that connection with your feet on the floor and the crown of the head extending away. This time when you go out, stay there. And as you breathe, feeling that same connection with the earth, grounding down into the feet and the lengthening of your spine. As you exhale, softening a little. So a couple more breaths there. Also pulling the navel back towards the spine on the exhale. And then the next time you exhale, straighten that front knee but leave the arms up. And then bring the right hand down towards the knee. Turn the left palm up. And we're going to inhale and reach up and over. Now you can soften that front knee a bit and hold on to the knee if you would like to. And then as you exhale, coming back into warrior two. So we're inhaling over and exhale back into warrior two. We'll do that one more time. And this time when you go over, let's stay in this triangle pose. And you can choose whether you look down to your foot, whether you keep your head neutral, or testing your balance a little, looking up towards the hand. And you're lengthening as you breathe in and pulling the navel strongly back towards the spine to support the posture as you exhale. And if you like, you can slide your right hand down your leg a little. Can we do one more breath here? And as you exhale, coming back up to warrior two, and then floating the arms down, turn your feet back the same way, and return to mountain pose. And just take a moment to notice that whole left side of the body, how lengthened it feels. And notice your right leg that had most of your weight on it. So feeling the difference between the two sides of the body. And let's go the other way. So this time the left foot's going in front, the right one behind. Again, making sure that the left shoulder is sort of over that left foot. And we're going to inhale, coming up, and exhale, floating the arms down. So bending the left knee, making sure it tracks over the foot, and then exhaling down. And this time when you go into the posture, holding it there, as you inhale, grounding with your feet, lengthening your spine away through the crown of the head. As you exhale, softening the arms, elbows a little bit, pulling the navel back towards the spine. So 2 or 3 breaths here. And as you exhale, you can keep that knee bent a little and bring the left hand down to the knee, turning the right palm up. I'm going to inhale, lateral bend over. Exhale, coming back to shoulder level with the arms. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, returning the arms to shoulder level. And one more like that. And this time when you go over, let's stay there. And this is your lateral bend. You can have that left knee bent a little bit if you like. But we're concentrating on the right side of the body now. You can look down towards the left foot. You can keep your head neutral or test your balance by looking out to the top arm. And you're welcome to extend a little bit into the stretch by sliding that left hand down towards the shin or even towards the floor. See how you go. Let's see if we can do one more breath here, and then as you exhale, coming back up, straightening the knee as you float the arms down, turning both feet the same way, coming back to Tadasana, and taking a moment to notice. How's your breath feel? How does your body feel? Noticing that left side of the body that's stretched out, right side that time, and the left foot that's worked, that's been holding your weight. And see if you feel a little bit more even having gone to both sides. Giving yourself a shake out, a little jiggle. And we're going into the Kriya really soon. We're going to do the Kriya for elevation today. Wonderful. But let's come down onto the hands and knees. And if you need to pad under your knees, I'm finding more and more that I need to these days. My knees were never a problem. It's very interesting. So, just another interesting. Yeah, just another interesting thing. Yeah. So let your hips swing from side to side, like your what about happy doggies? Wagging your tail. And finding your breath with that movement, whatever feels interesting. And letting the movement go up into your rib cage and into your shoulders. And notice what happens with your head. You may feel that the head's moving a little bit, or you may want to keep it still. So we're loosening off the spine in this posture. And then imagine your tailbone is drawing a circle like a clock face. So we're going to make circles. So we're arching up into cat pose and going down into cow pose. And again, finding a breath that works with that. So you're making little horizontal circles with your butt. That's it. That's great. And then going back the other way. Noticing how that feels with your breath. Finding a range of motion that feels good for you. Alright. And then coming back to centre. If you need to pause and give your wrist a bit of a shake out, you're welcome to do that. And then inhale, lengthening forwards. And then exhale, pulling the navel back towards the spine and bringing your hips down into child's pose. So inhaling forwards, exhaling back. And continue with that movement at your own pace. If you want to go into down dog instead of child's pose, you're welcome to do that. So tucking the toes under, and as you exhale, extending the tailbone up into down dog. And you can either continue with down dog on the exhale or alternate between that and child's, or if your body doesn't want to do down dog today, you're welcome just to do child's pose. Good job. And this time bring your knees down. And then sinking back into child's pose, bringing the forehead to the floor. And settling here with the arms out in front, under the forehead, or alongside the legs. Whatever feels most comfortable for your body in this moment. Allowing your weight to drop down towards the earth. And especially thinking about softening your shoulders. We often hold tension here in child's pose. So taking this opportunity with your out breath each time to release and surrender your weight down towards the earth. And on your next in-breath, coming up nice and slowly. And coming to easy pose, and we'll start the Kriya for elevation. So sitting in easy pose, lengthening the spine. And we're going to take the arms up to a V shape. So it's important here to think about them coming from the middle of your spine. You can take the arms forward a little bit if that's more comfortable for your shoulders, folding the fingertips in towards the palms and sending the thumbs up towards the ceiling. Now here, you are focusing your eyes at the third eye point, and you're welcome to do either long deep breathing, or if you want to, you can do breath of fire. So when you're ready, off you go. If you're doing breath of fire, keeping that connection between the navel and the third eye, feeling that energy moving up through the Sushumna, the main energy channel of the body. And if you're doing the long deep breathing, make it a structural breath where you're widening the chest and the rib cage as you inhale, lengthening the spine and pulling the navel back towards the spine as you exhale. And inhaling, bringing the thumb tips together over your head, stretching your fingers out, suspending the breath in, pulling the locks. And then letting the arms float down when you're ready. Bring them into your lap and staying within for a moment, noticing how your body and your mind feel now. Noticing any sensations, especially around the shoulders. Perhaps you can feel sensations around the navel point from doing the breath of fire. And feeling those sit bones firmly on the floor, because after that elevating posture, it's good to feel that connection with the earth again, to ground yourself to the earth. And taking the legs out in front, give them a shake out, and then we'll come back into easy pose. Now we're doing the spinal flexes, so depending on how your body is feeling today, if you want to work more on the pelvis and the lower spine, you can put your hands here, and that allows you to work into the pelvic bowl and the lumbar spine. If you prefer to work on the upper back, you can bring the hands out to the knees and gently push against the knees as you bring the chest forward on the inhale part of the spinal flex. So finding what feels best for your body today and using your breath powerfully. Doesn't have to be fast. What's important is that connection with the breath and the movement. And you're massaging your internal organs and gently mobilizing the spine here. Keep this going for a little longer, making sure that you're keeping your jaw and your shoulders nice and loose, so all the work is being done in the spine. Your head fairly steady on the top. And a couple more here. The next time you inhale, lengthening your spine, pulling root lock, chin lock. And when you're ready, letting go of that breath and the locks. And taking a moment to notice the effect of that exercise on your body, where sensations are arising, especially along the spine. And noticing how your normal breath feels now. And see if you can identify where the energy is moving in your body. And taking the legs out in front of you when you're ready. A bit of a wiggle and jiggle. Don't forget to drink as well, I always forget to drink. Do you want me to go and grab you some water, sure? Alright, so coming back to easy pose and bringing the hands up onto your shoulders. And you have the thumbs at the back and the fingers at the front. If that's not a good position for your shoulders, then folding your hands in the front there might work better. So lengthening the spine, this is the key. Because we're doing the Kriya for elevation, we're thinking about that long, straight spine. So as you inhale, we're going to twist towards the left. As you exhale, twist towards the right. Trying to keep your arms and your chin in the same relationship to the body. So it's the body that's twisting, not the arms or the head. And we're trying to keep that length, that vertical length through the spine. And again, going at a pace that feels good for you. So you might want to move quite fast, or you might be happier moving more slowly. So just noticing how the body feels about this. And you may well find that you have a rhythm that you like to do for things like spinal flexes and twists, and your body usually gets into that rhythm quite readily. A couple more like that. And this time, finishing with an exhale to the right, inhale to centre and apply the locks, lengthening the spine. And then releasing the locks and exhaling the hands down when you're ready. Taking a moment to notice what's going on in your body now. Where's that energy moving? And taking the legs out in front and giving them a shake out. Alright, so got the legs out in front of you. I like to be up on a blanket for this, and I know that, I don't know how your hamstrings are, but some people like to have something under there so that they don't feel that their knees are getting too straight. See how you feel about that. So we're going to inhale, lengthening up through the spine and hinging forward from the lower back. Bring your hands to your shins, your ankles or your toes. If you can reach your toes, you can press the thumbs into the big toes, and that activates your pituitary gland. So from here, inhaling in this lengthened position with the head up. As you exhale, soften the elbows and bring the head down slightly. And then inhale, lengthening the spine. Exhale, softening the elbows and releasing down. So finding those two positions, inhale, lengthening the spine, exhale, pulling the navel back towards the spine, and releasing down towards the legs. And going between those two positions with a powerful breath. And checking in, making sure that your jaw is staying relaxed, finding the energy in the posture and not allowing any excess tension into parts of the body where there doesn't need to be any work being done. Turn sideways for the camera so you can see that movement. And the next time you inhale, coming to your inhale position, lengthening through the spine. Bring the chin in towards the throat slightly and pulling root lock. And as you release that lock and exhale, bring the head back down, releasing through the whole spine. And then the next time you inhale, coming up slowly, straightening up the spine. How are you doing? Good. Yeah? I love it. All right, good. So, this is a similar sort of exercise, but we're using one leg instead of both legs now. So, it's a modified male mudra. So we're going to sit on the left heel and bring the right foot out in front. Now, ideally, the heel goes into the perineum, but let's face it, it depends on how you boot. It's not always possible. So if it's really uncomfortable to sit on your heel, you can tuck the foot underneath the thigh like that, or even bring it to the side. So here, we're going to do exactly the same setup as we did for the forward bend. So we're lengthening through the spine, lifting up, hinging forwards, going to shin, ankle or toes. And again, you can press into that big toe nail if you like. And then bring the head down. So we're holding this posture with a spine as long as you can, but your head relaxed forward. And here you can do breath of fire or long deep breath. And again, it's that feeling of connection between the navel and the third eye point through the Shushmuna, through the main energy channel of the body. So if you're doing breath of fire, you're pulsing that energy up from the Agni, right from the fire generating navel Kriya, navel chakra, excuse me, up to the third eye. And if you do the long deep breath, pulling that navel back towards the spine, feeling that squeeze in the abs that's sending the energy up. And inhaling deeply, lengthening the spine out, bringing the head up, still holding on. And as you exhale, soften back over that leg, rolling up slowly, bringing the left leg from underneath you and stretching out in front, and taking a moment to notice how your body and your mind are feeling. You will feel like lopsided because we're about to do it on the other side. And noticing the difference in your left leg to your right leg. Notice if there's any difference as well in the upper half of the body. That part was fairly symmetrical, but it's good to be aware if there's any differences transferring up the body. And then tucking your right foot underneath this time. And exactly the same thing again. So we're setting up, lengthening through the spine as you tip your arms up overhead. Lengthening, especially through the lower part of the spine as you lean forwards. Shins, ankles or toes, and release the head forward. And when you're ready, beginning breath of fire or long deep breathing. Now inhale, lifting the head up, lengthening through the whole spine, pulling root lock. And when you're ready, exhaling, leaning over your leg, rolling up slowly and coming out of the posture. How are you doing? Take the legs out in front and give yourself a bit of a shake out. And if you want to give your lower legs a bit of a rub, a bit squashed in that posture, so see how you go. All right, so we're coming out to straddle now. And make it a modest straddle, so we're not aiming for a great wide movement here, because the aim is to bring the hands to the shins, the ankles or the toes. So you don't want to be way out there because you've got nowhere to go if you do that. So we're doing two parts to this. The first one is inhaling to centre and then exhaling, and I like to think of it as bowing to that left leg. And then inhaling up, bowing to your right leg. So you're finding mobilisation in the spine here, and then after a while, we're going to inhale to centre and exhale down towards the centre. But going from side to side right now. And going at a speed where you can feel the difference between the inhale and the exhale. And noticing that you're releasing into that stretch. Try and keep the low back as long as you can when you're going over. And feeling those muscles that are working around the back of the hips, the low back, the inner thighs as well. finishing with an exhale to the right, then coming back up to centre and going straight into down and up to the centre. So still holding on to your shins, ankles or toes and moving up and down in the middle. And notice the difference here with that symmetrical movement after the asymmetry of the last part of the exercise. As you inhale, feeling the length right from the tailbone to the crown of the head on that diagonal. And this time, retaining the breath in, pulling the locks. And as you exhale, drawing the feet together and giving yourself a shake out. And taking a moment to notice how everything feels, especially around the low bands. Quite a powerful exercise for that lumbar spine, that one. Yeah. And that one and the exercise we're about to do, Cobra, are two exercises that we don't really do. They're not functional movements. We don't do those in everyday life, so it's often quite a shock to the body. But as you know,
not for us yogis.
No, not for us yogis, that's right. And with Cobra, as you know, I'm a great fan of tummy time for grown-ups. I think it's really important, especially if you spend most of your day at a desk when you're in this sort of posture, or hopefully this sort of posture if you've got good posture. But to get that widening of the chest is so important. So that's what we're going to do now. Coming down onto your belly. And find a spot for your hands that feels comfortable. It can be anywhere from under your shoulders to actually quite a long way out in front of you. I'm favouring the diamond shape at the moment for my spine. I don't know, which is sort of fingers together and elbows out to the side. I just find that supports my back a bit better. But find a position for your hands and put your forehead on the floor. And as you inhale, you're going to press your hands into the floor and lift your head and shoulders off. And the key here is to find the length from your toes up to the crown of the head. So if you can visualise one of those lovely graphs, and we've seen a lot of them recently with COVID, so think of, it's not good in COVID terms, but thinking of that lovely smooth arc up to high case loads, and as you exhale, go down.
The lovely thing about that is it's coming to an end.
Yes, exactly. So moving slowly up and down. And then the next time you go up, holding that posture, and if you want to put your weight onto your forearms instead of your hands, you're welcome to do that. And staying there with either breath of fire or long deep breathing. Finding that posture. A better image, a much nicer image, is thinking of yourself like the prow of one of those beautiful Viking vessels. They had the carved woman with the long flowing hair. I like that idea. So you're slicing through the ocean, looking very beautiful. And if you need to release down to the floor to relax in between times, you're welcome to do that. Keeping the shoulders as soft as you can and the jaw soft. noticing that you can soften any part of the body that doesn't need to hold you up there. So consider releasing your butt muscles and the backs of your legs. And inhaling deeply. Staying up there, exhale completely and pull root lock. And then inhale again. And on your exhale, slowly going down one vertebra at a time. And once you land, you can have your head straight on your hands or just resting with the forehead on the floor, or you can turn your head to one side if you wish. And making sure that on each out breath you let go of a little more tension in your body. So you're surrendering your weight down into the earth. Feeling that connection with the earth through the whole of the front surface of the body. And slowly, slowly moving up on your next inhale, coming back to easy pose. Alright, now going to do some shoulder shrugs. So hands on the knees, and this is a straight up and down motion of the shoulders, as relaxed as possible. So I like to imagine that I've got someone with one hand on each of my shoulder blades and they're lifting my shoulder blades up and down like an elevator. So as you inhale, letting the shoulders come up any amount, and then as you exhale, dropping them down. And again, going at a speed that feels comfortable for you. You can make it quite fast if you want to with your breath, or take it a little bit slower, depending on how your shoulders are feeling. Key here is to keep everything as relaxed as you can, especially your jaw. And it sometimes helps to draw the chin back towards the throat so that you're feeling the length up the back of the neck. And the next time you inhale, gently holding the shoulders up there for a moment, and then letting them go as you exhale, and taking a few more breaths here. As you exhale each time, imagining that your shoulders are dropping down even more. And if you like, you can visualise being under a waterfall or under a nice warm shower, feeling the water taking away all that tension from the tops of your shoulders. Alright, so taking the legs out, and if you want to swap your leg in front, you can do. Now, neck rolls is the next thing on the Kriya. I've always been a bit ambivalent about neck rolls, to be honest, as someone who's suffered from whiplash and had problems with my neck. So there are a number of ways of doing it. The traditional way is to exhale the chin towards the chest, and then to inhale around to the back, widening the chest, and continuing around to the front again. If that feels not good as your head goes back, you're welcome to lift your head over the centre, so it's more of semicircle than a full circle. And if shoulder rolls, neck rolls are not a go for you, then you can turn your head from side to side instead. And this time when your head comes around to the front, going off in the other direction, noticing immediately if you need to adjust the size of the circle or the speed of the circle. Might feel quite different to this direction. And bring your head up to centre as you inhale this time, lengthening through the spine, suspending the breath, pulling the locks. And as you're ready, letting go of the locks and the breath, and taking a moment to notice how that exercise landed in your body, when the energy is moving now. And then coming onto your knees into rock pose, and as always you can put something between your heels and your hips if that feels more comfortable. We're doing Sat Kriya. So here we're interlacing the fingers, putting the index fingers together and crossing the left thumb over the right. And that mudra goes above your head. If it needs to go slightly forward, that's fine. The important thing is to make sure that the shoulders stay quite relaxed. Chanting Sat as you pull the navel sharply and strongly back towards your spine, and Nam as you release it. But if you can, it's just the navel that's moving. We're not jumping around, not jumping the shoulders or the thighs up. So here we go. Sat, Nam, 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 Sat,
Nam. Sat. 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 Nam. Last one. Sat. Nam. And inhale, leaving your arms up. Suspend the breath, pull root and chin lock. Feeling that spiral and energy going all the way up the spine to the crown of the head and up to the fingertips. Releasing the breath, leaving the arms up there. And then when you get to the bottom of the breath, holding the breath out and pulling root, chin and diaphragm up. And then when you need to release that, letting the arms float down on your next exhale. Taking a moment to notice all those sensations, especially around the shoulders. Maybe you can still feel that energy spiraling up the spine to the crown of the head. And staying within as much as possible, coming down onto your back into Shavasana. Getting yourself comfortable. Would you like a bolster for under your knees? Yeah, just grab that. And then you can release down a little bit more. Thank you. Taking a moment to settle in and feel each part of the body that's releasing down towards the mat. Feeling the connection between your body and the ground. And even the parts that aren't being supported by the earth, that are lifted away. See if you can bring them down towards the ground as much as possible. So surrendering your weight down into the earth. You may find that you can release your shoulders a bit more by having the palms facing up, but that isn't true for everyone, so see how that feels. And when I start to play the gong, allowing the sound of the vibration to lull you into a deep, relaxed state.
Please take an extra deep breath and begin to move your fingers and your toes when you're ready. Give yourself a long stretch out. And bring the arms down, feet up onto the mat, put the bolster away if you're using it, and let's go into a twist. Exhaling the knees down to one side, inhaling them back to centre, exhaling them down to the other. And you're welcome to stay on one side in your stretch for a few breaths if that feels good for your body. Making sure that you've gone evenly to both sides, and then bringing the soles of the feet and the palms of the hands together and rubbing them vigorously, waking up your nadis. And then bring the feet to the floor, hands cover the eyes, feeling the warmth of your hands here. And opening your eyes up, slowly moving the hands away from your face, looking at the lines on them and adjusting your eyes to the light. And then bringing the knees towards the chest, give them a big hug, a rock from side to side, and then coming back up to sitting either by rolling onto your side or rocking up and down. I'm just on 1:45 now. Can you another 3 or 4 minutes? Is that okay? Alright, checking. This time that slightly. Alright, so we're going to do alternate nostril breathing, but we're going to do it without the hands. So it's an interoceptive one. A couple of ways that you can think about that, and a number of ways that you can visualise. So having the hands just on your knees, Ingyan Mudra, index fingers and thumbs together, and the drishti is at the third eye, you're focusing here. Now you can either visualise the air coming in through the left nostril, almost like a laser beam. So thinking about a white or whatever colour laser beam you like up to your third eye, and then that laser leaving through the right nostril, and then the reverse. So we inhale through the right, exhale through the left. And we'll just keep going like that. If you want to think about the Ida and the Pingala, the energy channels that go either side of the main Shushmuna, the Ida is the left side, finishes in the left nostril, and is the cooling, calming, receptive energy. And the right side is the solar energy, the more active, warming energy. So if you want to think of that, you can think of the air coming in through the nostril and spiralling down to your navel point, and then spiralling back up again and coming out of the opposite nostril. So if you're a good visualizer and you want to try that, you are welcome to try that. So here we go, we're inhaling through the left and exhaling through the right. Then inhale through the right and exhale through the left. And continue at your own pace, staying with the breath. And if you notice your mind wandering away, please bring it back to the present moment as soon as you notice. When your breath reaches the third eye at the end of each inhale, you may want to retain the breath in for a beat or two there. That's optional. But for some it might feel quite natural to do that. And finish with an exhale through whichever nostril you're on, and then inhaling through both nostrils. Suspend your breath in gently, pull root and chin lock. And when you need that to let go of that, release the locks, then the breath. Take a moment to stay within and notice how your body and your mind are feeling after that short burst of Nadi Shodhana. So Nadi Shodhana, alternate nostril breathing, is great for balancing the two hemispheres of the brain and the dual energies of the body, balancing the nervous system, bringing it back to homeostasis. And it means in Sanskrit Nadi cleansing, so it's the idea that you're cleansing your energy through the breath, through the prana. Next time you breathe in, bring your palms together at the centre of the chest. Say the long time sunshine chant and one long sat and short nam to finish. Inhaling to begin. May the long time sun shine upon you, all love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Please bring your head down, bow into your higher self, and may peace, light and love go with you today, tomorrow and always. Thank you.